Most of us are doing a little bit of everything at once. Paying off a little bit of debt, investing a bit here and there, trying to save when there is something left. Nothing is wrong, but it does not feel calm. It does not feel like progress. In this video, I'll walk you through the step-by-step sequence that helps me feel secure first, then grow without the constant financial anxiety. It is a framework you can try. Take what fits, leave what does not, and use it to build a money system that finally feels like it is working with you instead of against you. For me, the very first step is not exciting at all. It is a tiny buffer. Before I think about investing, I want a small amount of cash sitting there so that life's little surprises do not knock everything over. A surprised water bill, a medical copay, or a last-minute flight. I like the idea of $1,000 to $3,000 as a starter cushion, depending on your life and responsibilities. Not a full emergency fund yet, just enough that you are not forced into debt every time something random happens. You will notice I am not saying you have to hit some magical number first. This is just where I feel my nervous system calms down a little. That is the signal I pay attention to. Then, almost at the same time, I think about something really simple. If there is any kind of employer match where you work, I do my best not to leave that on the table. Before I go chasing smart investments, I want to pick up the free money that is sitting right in front of me. In my own situation, I choose to max out my 401k each month because it fits my income and goals. This is just what works for me. What makes sense for you will depend on your income, your debt, and your comfort level. Once I have a small cushion and any free match taken care of, the next thing I look at is high interest debt. This is where a lot of people feel shame. Life is expensive. Things happen. For me, I just had to get honest and say, this is like a reverse investment. If I am paying every high interest on a balance, that money is quietly undoing a lot of good things I am trying to do on the investing side. So my priority becomes simple. Keep paying the required minimums on everything, and then give extra attention to the debt with the highest interest rate. Paying off something with a high rate feels like locking in a really strong guaranteed result without taking market risk. For most people, it might be credit card debts, buy now, pay later plans, personal loans, subprime auto loans, or care credit medical credit cards. After that debt feels under control, that is when I zoom back out and think about a real emergency fund. To me, this is the difference between I can handle a surprise bill and I can handle a rough season. Here is how I think about it. If my income is very stable, I have a strong support system, I am more comfortable with something like 3 months of expenses set aside. If my income is variable, or I have a lot of people depending on me, or I know my job could change quickly, I feel better with something closer to 6 months or more. There is no perfect rule. It is more about being able to sleep at night. When your emergency fund is solid, every other financial decision feels less desperate. You can stay invested when the market is down. You can say no to things that are not right for you. You can buy yourself time. And time is one of the most powerful things in money. Once that foundation is there, this is when I start thinking about growing for future me. For me personally, the next step is an IRA. I like it because it usually gives me more control and lower fees than most workplace plans. I can choose simple, boring, low-cost index funds that I feel comfortable holding for a long time. I will not go into deep instructions here because this is not a personalized advice, but at a higher level, there are 2 big flavors. Traditional, where you get a tax break now and pay taxes later, and Roth, where you pay taxes now and future qualified withdrawals are tax-free. The way I think about it is very simple. If I am in a lower income year, Roth starts to look very attractive. If I am in a very high income year, I pay more attention to the traditional option. Sometimes I even like the idea of doing a mix, so I have flexibility later. You do not have to get this perfectly right on day one. You can adjust as your life and your income change. If I have access to a health savings account and the health plans actually make sense for me, that becomes another step I really like. I see an HSA as a little secret pocket for future medical costs. Contributions can have tax benefits. The money can grow, and qualified medical withdrawals can be very tax efficient. For a lot of people, especially if they are relatively healthy and can pay small medical bills out of pocket, it can quietly turn into another long-term investing bucket. I treat it with respect though. I do not spend from it casually. I think of it as money I am setting aside for the version of me who is older and wants her healthcare to be less stressful. Once I feel that my retirement vehicles are being used well, this is when I get interested in a regular taxable brokerage account. This is where I put money that I might want access to before traditional retirement age. For example, if I ever want to slow down my clinical work or take a long trip or have more freedom in my 40s and 50s, I like the idea of having a separate pool of investments that is not locked behind age rules. The way I see it, retirement accounts are for I do not want to work later. Taxable accounts are for I want options sooner. Same tools, different purpose. And even here, I still keep things pretty boring. Only after all of those steps feel solid do I personally think about fun money. The high risk, individual stocks, speculations, anything creative and experimental. For me, this is a very small slice. Small enough that if it went badly, it would not change my long-term plans or my sense of security. I treat it like a hobby, not a retirement plan. That lets me be curious and engaged without putting my future on the line. You do not have to do this step at all. Some people skip it entirely, and that is perfectly valid. You do not have to fix everything today. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to understand the sequence well enough to choose your next step on purpose. Peace is not found, it is built. One decision, one step, one season at a time. And when your money starts to line up in an order that supports you, you feel it. Your bank balance might not be huge yet, but the way you breathe when you think about money is different. This is the part I care about the most. If this gave you some clarity, please let me know in the comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.